部分的人都生活在越来越把自己困在自己的死胡同，生活在自己的一片自己的空间，很少有那一个交流。MyyTalk 这一个时事清谈节目呢，我们希望能有来自于不同年龄、不同种族、不同阶层，甚至不同领域，不管你有钱没有钱，不管你会讲话不会讲话，我们都希望借着这一个相对于公开、自由、百花齐放的平台，来让你有机会去把你的要讲的话去说给大家听。MyyTalk 美里时事无所不是，每个星期三晚上8点约定你哦。Hi, good evening， 大家好，欢迎来到今天不是星期三，每个星期四，今天是星期四哈。MyyTalk 美里时事无所不是，我们听见你的声音啊。今天我们非常荣幸请到了我们美里国会议员 YB Dr. 来到我们现场。Please welcome YB Dr. YB, please跟我们的观众朋友打个招呼。
Hello。
大家好。So 今天的 MyyTalk a little bit special because on request from 我们的 YB 哈。So today 因为YB 说我们今天 YB 要 send 出来的 message is mostly not only for 我们Chinese in Mandarin people and also for all those whatever 我们所有 race 的 people include 我们的同胞 Malay whatever 所有的 race is please welcome to watch。所以今天我会 try 用我的 broken English 来 host 这个 interview。So 如果我的 English is not really good, please forgive me. Okay? As usual， 在节目刚刚开始我要先谢谢我们的这个 business partner 他们的 sponsor。Thank you GOC Good Vision and then Cynics Solution Sdn Bhd 和 T Home 炫音乐工作室 sponsor 我们的这个 production fee and then 还有让我们能有力气走得更远同时间也呼吁在这一个屏幕前面的观众朋友你们如果有能力的话请多多支持我们，在我们的 comment link 和我们的这个屏幕前面下面这一边你也可以看到有我们的户口，我们的银行户口请多多支持我们，让我们有能力为你带来更多不同的声音。Okay, so 废话不多说 we come into our live interview today Thank you, YB, for our coming to join our live interview today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Okay, YB, at first, I would like you to please, YB, invite you to introduce yourself to our audience because I do believe, mostly of our Miriam, we know you very well, Dr. Teo. Okay, so but maybe they sometimes our Miriam they not really know. We confused actually. Maybe you are local Miriam, you born Miri, or you Sarawakian but not from Miri.
No, I was born 1948.
Oh, okay.
So that means I'm 73 yesterday.
But you look really still look really young.
I'm 73. My birthday was 24th.
Happy birthday, YB. Happy birthday.
2 days ago. So born in the fishing village in Kuching.
Okay.
They call the Patanak Road.
Okay.
So our family, 7 children. I'm the eldest.
Oh, so you are the eldest?
Yeah, there's 7 children. So live in the Kampong fishing village in Kuching. Now it's still no more there, Patanak village.
So you swim and then you catch fish really well, YB?
No, my relatives are fishermen.
Ah, okay.
So these are the Henghua fishermen living in this area last time. Yeah.
So you complete your whole primary and secondary study in Kuching as well, YB?
Yeah. Primary school we study in St. Teresa School.
Okay.
Which is up to primary 6. It's just about 200 meters from the village, St. Teresa, which is still there. The school. And then secondary school from 1 to from 6 we have to cycle maybe 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers to St. Joseph. So our brothers, sisters, we every morning cycle to school in from 1 to from 6. Yeah.
So you mean just now you told us, YB, you was eldest, I mean, and then you are 7 brothers and sisters in the family.
Yeah.
So 7 of you cycling every day to school.
Yeah. When
we in a team. Wow.
Yeah,
huge team.
We all have to wake up a bit early, and then every one of them have a bicycle. So we all cycle to my sister will cycle to St. Teresa's, which is the same place as St. Joseph, and then the other 6 will cycle to the St. Joseph across the road. So that's how we study, and of course at the end of the day, 1:30 finish, we all come back again. Everybody cycle back to school, to the house. Yeah, that's how we live. Yeah.
At that time, do you still remember at your childhood time? I mean, you. Is good enjoying more, enjoying like very happy studying, or you not really, I mean, enjoy your Nelayan Kampong lifestyle really much, but you just, I mean, 整天就只是在读书而已 maybe.
Yeah, I think those days people are very, everybody is poor.
Okay.
So you just have to do the best of what you have. So we were put in the school next door to our village. So of course we go to the school. We didn't make any choice. It's all made by others. Your school is there, your village is there. Of course you go to the school. Yeah. From that school, they say you go to the other school. So we just have to follow because there's not much choice actually. Yeah. So how?
So I just now you told me, YB, I mean at that time, that era, is poor. I thought you was come from, I mean like comfortable family.
No, everybody at that time was poor. So we are just like everybody else.
Then you continue your university at local or I mean the overseas?
Me and my brother, I'm the number 1, number 2. We luckily got a scholarship.
So
means
that you study really well.
We got very good results. So I got a scholarship to study medicine in Eastern Malaya. And my brother went to England to study quantity surveying. And so these 2 went first, and then these 2 later on will help the others to go overseas to study. So we just help each other. Yeah, my father was a taxi driver, but we managed to get a scholarship. I and my brother. So then we helped the rest to go overseas. So we all came up with a few doctors in the family, and 3 doctors and 3 quantity surveyors from UK. So that's how we help each other.
So at the time, at that moment, your father worked as a taxi driver, and then bear all of your family costs, and then 供你们读到大学 at UM, and then after that, after you graduate, then you and your brothers take over some costs, and then
help the rest to
go study at overseas. So all of them, the rest of them graduate from overseas.
I 6 out of 7.
It's a really
6 out of 7
tough job.
Oh
It costs a lot, right?
But those days the fees in UK are not that expensive.
Not that expensive also cost.
Not so expensive as now.
Oh, okay.
And then if you work part time, you can help to pay your school fees.
So, another my kepo I want to ask, Doctor, what that make you to make decision to choose go into this medical line?
I think those days you do not have a lot of choice.
Oh, okay.
So the government will put scholarship for medicine, maybe if you want to go overseas, engineering, quantity surveying, and a few others. So you have no much choice.
So you are one of is being selected.
You apply, and you go for interview, and if result is good, and then you'll be chosen.
So after you graduate from UM at West Malaysia PJ there, then you come back at Kuching, go back at Kuching, and then you start to, as a doctor, practice, and then when you start to have your own clinic.
No. When you come back, you must work for the government because you got a scholarship. You have to work 6 years.
Oh.
But I worked the government 9 years.
Oh, you worked at government for 9 years.
So the first 3 years were sent to Muka. So we have to move to Muka. That time I was married but no children. Moved to Muka.
Okay.
And
I just want to ask whether at that time you're still single or already married?
Already married. No, we were in Muka.
Okay.
And then we have to look after, 2 doctors look after hospital, Muka hospital, 40 beds. So we have to do everything, in that hospital. Old man, childbirth, children, women, everything. 2 doctors look after the hospital, and then we have to travel to the longhouses every month and live in the longhouse among them, give the treatment, and then we go to Ulu Muka, go to Balingian, stay there in the longhouses. That's why I first get exposed to the rural people.
At that time, you was just still below 35, right?
Yeah. We graduated at 26.
Yes.
And then we spent 1 year in Kuching Hospital for the training, and then 27 we have to go to.
Yes. Then you start your service at Muka
Hospital for.
How many years you service at the Muka Hospital?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Then after that?
After that, then we go back to Kuching Hospital, and then I decided that being a gynae and obstetrician is very important, because when I was in Muka, I can see that the childbirth is very dangerous and very risky. All the women who are pregnant in the rural areas are very scared. Because the service and the doctors are not enough. So that's why I said that we have to get somebody to study this gynecology and delivery, obstetric they call it, so that we can at least make the rural people, when they give birth, to save them, because it's so dangerous in the rural area to give birth.
In your experience, your previous your service experience, do you face any difficulty, like difficult, you don't know how to speak with them, or any things that any experience that make you you still remember until today? Any that special experience when it happened in Muka?
In Muka Hospital, most of those patients who are medical cases, you do not have that emergency, like a woman giving birth.
Okay.
So if a woman come and give birth, they will be either to give birth in the longhouse or in the hospital. So the doctor, when we were there, we are just newly trained.
Okay.
So we see this won't give birth, and then maybe a complication, cannot give birth, and then after delivery bleed. So that kind of thing is very scary even for us, doctors. So it is something that scare the doctors when you are young, you are not experienced, and then this woman sort of get into trouble. So that's why you must go and do this thing. For them, it's so important.
Do you experience the loss of a life in Muka, Doctor?
Yes, many times you can see that.
Because of the
delivery? The delivery, those days we don't have a lot of machines like ultrasound and so on. So we allow women to deliver, And in the rural areas, you only got 2 doctors, and then you don't know what is inside. So the baby can come out, feet come out, breach. Last minute, and then you got a baby that is stuck. That's very dangerous. And then sometimes the women are not ready for delivery, and then they are very pale, and then when they give birth, they bleed.
Yes.
And then of course this kind of thing is very scary, So you have to treat this kind of thing, and that scare you a lot.
Do you still remember, YB, the first? Your experience, the loss of a life, in front of you?
Oh, if you are a doctor in the rural areas, this sort of thing is very common. Every month, you get some children pass away, you get women give birth, bleed, and then, of course, it happens. And then you hear some women give birth in the longhouse and then pass away in the longhouse. Because there's no transport.
Probably every month.
You can hear of some bad cases, of people having complications. Some of them delivered and pass away. Some of them young girls, they're pregnant, and then they got this ectopic pregnancy. The pregnancy is not inside the womb, so they bleed about 2 months.
Sorry,
bleeding inside.
Is it 叫子宫外孕?
外孕, yeah, 子宫外孕. So these women in the middle of night pain, and then by early morning already pass away, because you bleed outside the womb, and then it's the bleed, and then if you are in the longhouse at night, you cannot travel. So we hear of these cases.
Nothing much can do at that moment because of lack of.
The girl will not know that it is 子宫外孕ectopic, so she will have stomach ache, and she might even not know that she's pregnant, and the stomach ache is so severe, she will bleed to death by the morning. You see, so young girl, right. So this is the thing that you can help. As a gynae, you can help them, particularly when you can get the blood bank to supply the blood. In the ectopic pregnancy, 子宫外孕, you can help them to give blood first. In the women who give birth and bleed a lot, you give blood, you save them. So blood is actually very important to save these people bleeding,
And actually, every time when I'm watching all those like drama, Hong Kong drama or Chinese drama, it often happen this very dramatic moment. So when they giving birth, giving delivery, sometimes when at this critical moment, birth mother and the baby they have a difficulty. So which one you decided to save first? How to make decisions, because in movie we watch this a lot, but I don't know how in real life, especially in in Ulu at that moment, at that era, long time ago. It's not modern like today. So is it really depends on the patient themselves? But what say if they cannot make the correct decision? So who help them to make the decision?
That's why the pregnant women, when they are pregnant, they are having a high risk.
Yes.
When they are early pregnancy, around 8 weeks, you can get ectopic you can die from that if you are in the rural area. So if you manage to pass that stage and you're safe, of course your ultrasound will show that your baby is in the womb, so you're safe. But then the next danger period is when you're going to give birth.
Yes.
So giving birth, all over the world, women die giving birth. Every minute around the world, some women die giving birth. And the baby also get complications, and some of them will die. Those who don't die may be brain damage. So it's a long-term complication. If somebody is born brain damage, for example, if the leg come out, the head gets stuck. So you have to deliver within few minutes the head, otherwise the baby will suffocate, and then not enough oxygen, the baby will come out and then becoming brain damage and so on. So that baby will be looked after for the rest of his life. So that's why it's so important. Both lives are important, and then we of course want to save both if possible. So pregnant women, they depend on doctors and hospital facilities to make sure that this delivery is safe. Because every woman almost give birth, some of them 2 or 3 times. So the first time is the most scary time, because you are a pregnant woman and you give birth, you are helpless. You cannot help yourself. So you need to depend on hospital facility, doctors, and government to help you to make sure that your delivery is safe and you have freedom to decide to a small extent, all these things. So the pregnant woman is actually suffering from a lot of fear. So that part of it, we must help them so that they have a good delivery and the baby born normal, without complication. And so that is actually the responsibility of the government to help them. And we should have enough facility, we should have more doctors who are specialized in this thing, and be a responsible government so that mothers giving birth will be feeling more secure, not so scared, and suffering from minimum complication. And blood bank facility must be friendly for them, not make it very difficult, So all these things is important for the women, and I'm sure the husband will feel more fear if the facility is not good, or scared the women might get complication.
So when the moment come to the bottom line that they need to make decision, who gonna make the decision whether who I want save first? Is it the husband, the family members, or the doctor? Maybe.
That's why
when the moment comes, I mean, the very critical moment that they must decide immediately.
That's why the family must support this woman who is pregnant, who is going to give birth. So the family should be able to help her and find a good doctor which they trust, and they're able to make arrangements in case they cannot afford private service. They should be able to get as good service in the government. So all these things, family must help her, because if you don't help her, then she is also a blur, and so we need everybody to help her, and the doctor also should be responsible to help her, and so on. And the government hospital, fortunately, the service in Malaysia is getting better, over the years. On this 35 years I'm in this thing, I can see that the service in government and private is getting much better than before. When I was in district hospital, Muka.
So after you spend 2.5 years, around 3 years in Muka, then you transfer to Kuching, maybe?
Yeah, then I decided that we should go and study obstetric and gynecology.
Oh, you continue study again?
I have to be a specialist. I'm just a young doctor, having no idea what I want. But when I go to rural area, I see that this area is something that women fear and dangerous. So I think I'm going to study that one. So I have to go for the training. I went to Singapore for 6 months. I went to Negeri Sembilan, Seremban for 2 years. Then I went to UK for another 6 months. So all this is to prepare to be a specialist.
This field step of further study, is it bear on your own cost or government bear?
You are already working for the government, so you have salary. So you spend more time to study for the thing that you want to do.
Then after the further study from Singapore, and then you at UK, then you finish the study. Okay, and then you come back to Kuching again.
Yeah, I came back to Kuching for 6 months, and then they said that there is a specialist in Kuching. There is a specialist in Miri, in Cebu, but no specialist in Miri. So I will go to Miri.
So you volunteer yourself, Abi?
I have no choice. I have no choice, because the need is in Miri. That time Miri got no specialists, so we had to go and set up medical proper of.
You still remember which year is that, Abi?
I came to Miri 1978.
78. Before I born, I born at 1979, and I also just passed my birthday, same as YB. Before 1 day before YB birthday. Continue to our interview.
That time the hospital is across the river here.
Across the river, the old hospital. So then you fulfill your service in this general hospital in Miri for how many years after that?
I did hospital service for 3 years. And then I asked to be transferred to Kuching.
At that moment you stay, your wife, and do you have kids at that moment when you're in Miri?
My firstborn was a baby when I came 1 month. So we came here, then we stayed in one haunted house in Tajalobang for a few months. Then we moved across the road to at their government house there, and then we start to open up a proper maternity center, delivery room, and so on. So that was how we helped to deliver all the babies in Miri at the time, 1978.
But I heard just now you told maybe after 2 or 3 years in Miri, you still request to go back to Kuching.
Yeah, because my family, everybody is there. So I request whether to go back to Kuching Hospital. Then everybody is saying that in Miri, your friends are in Miri. If you go, then there's nobody to look after this pregnant women and so on. So they convinced me to stay here. So I opened my maternity center here.
So means that you start to open your maternity center at that time after, you make up your mind to station in Miri at that moment.
Yeah, 1981, the first maternity private hospital in Miri, in Miri.
At the current location right now?
No, it's different place at the mass office.
Okay. Then start when after that you took how many years to own your shift to now the current location and then own your own building?
We moved to first it is 1 floor, like first floor, everything there, maternity center for 1 year. Then we moved to across the road to not the present one, but somewhere there. 3 floors and 1 floor. Downstairs there's 4 floors. Then we start to move. Now we buy 3 shops. So we gradually move when we progress further. So now we own 3 shops.
As a professional and very good gynae doctor, for so many years, YB, do you have any any special word you want to tell to send to our Mirian? Any message that to give a good message to our Mirian, how to take care themselves, or 怎么样有什么好的劝告 to our local Mirian, especially to female?
Yeah, compared to last time, there was not much choice before. Before we open, everybody must go to the hospital.
Yes.
But now with so many private hospitals and clinics, the service getting better. and government service also much better. So the women giving birth now is at least, I think, less fearful, because you can choose. If you choose one, the other one is up to you, you know. So that is a good thing. And those who cannot afford, don't worry, hospital service is equally good. So you can,
it's not really costly.
No,
right?
it's not costly. The service is actually very good nowadays.
Okay.
And the team of doctors are very well trained. So the fear of women in Miri giving birth is much less, because there are so many ways you can go about. Even if you are poor, you can go to government hospital, and the service is actually very good. They are friendly, they help you, and then you can go and get the best service in the Miri hospital. So that part, I feel quite happy now that
you are proud with it.
Yeah, the service is much better, you know, because you have a choice. Even though you are poor, you still can get the best service. So that is something that I'm very happy about for Miri women giving birth.
And YB, so many years, I mean, as a very successful gynae doctor, what make you suddenly, I mean, suddenly come into this politic field? I mean, from what my study, okay, at year 2001, okay, that is your first participant in these elections. So, I mean, is it any special reason or any special thing that happened that make you suddenly come into this politic field?
As a doctor, you are a person
because I thought it's not really related, right?
No, it is in a way related.
Oh, okay.
As a doctor, you want to fix something.
Yes.
And you want to do something to make the patient better. So that is your training. You want to do something to make the patient well, to make the outcome good for the sick person. So then you realize that maybe there's something you can do for your country. So if I'm in the clinic and say that we must do this, nobody will listen to me. If I complain that the government is not straight, not good, nobody will listen to me. So the only way is to help the people and to give our suggestion is to join the politics. And from there, you can voice out what you want the government to do. Where is the thing that you think can make the government better or make the people better? So that is actually the same idea, that maybe we can do something for the country. So we'll be going into politics.
Okay, at that moment, YB, year 2000, okay, what, I mean, how you make your decision that before you join into these politic parties, why you choose this Parti Keadilan at that moment? At the first you join Parti Keadilan, at the first day you come into this politic field until today. You never change party, you never shift, I mean, your identity, your party's identities. So at that moment, what is the main reason you choose Parti Keadilan, not the others? Sorry.
Every morning in the clinic, I will read the newspaper, and I realize that there's one politician who is actually committed, and that was Anwar. And then I said that this guy is really good, you know. Then they suddenly attack him, put him in jail, and then I realized that this is not right. At that point, I joined.
Year 1999.
At that point, I joined, and then I called up those people in KL. One of them is Ten Chua. Because he is in Keadilan a bit longer than me, and he's been beaten up on the roadside.
Yes.
Arrested a few times, so I made contact with him and said that maybe we should help. Whether I can help. At
that time, 1999, do you went to Peninsula, West Malaysia, to join the Reformacy forums? And
No, after I joined the party, then we get involved with a lot of programs, Reformacy, Base. I used to collect a few people to go close the clinic, go and make campaign on the roadside, and then sell T-shirt, Base 1, Base 2, Base 3, Reformacy. Most of the thing I was there with a few of my supporters from MYRI. That's 20 years already.
Yes, at that moment itself, YB, is it this? Is it Parti Keadilan already have an official branch in MYRI or not really yet?
I think that time we're just starting.
Just starting.
So I actually start to rent the office and put a signboard, and then try to get people to join. And then we have Malay, Chinese, Iban people. And I didn't realize that there are a lot of people who want to join. The moment you start, they come. Then we have a lot of meetings, and then we organize to go and support our leader in the court and on the roadside campaign. And then we practically every important function we attend. Base we organize in MYRI as well. Then Base in KL we go. So we get more or less get deeply involved to try to save our leader who's been put in jail. We went to the court also a couple of times to have a look at him. So it's going on for 21 years. But over the years, I get more and more happy because our leader, our party getting stronger. Our voice is going out. At one time, our party only got one MP, one Aziza in the parliament, and then we were told that our party would die next election because we are a mosquito party.
Yes.
But actually, I'm convinced that we are not. Now we are the biggest political party.
And I still remember YB at year 2001, 20 years before. That was your very first time as a candidate from this Parti Keadilan, and then go into the state elections at this Dun Senadin, right? And then at another year 2008, 7 years later, okay, you was selected as a candidate, okay, and then go to the MP election for this national election for Cebu, okay, but both election you lost, YB, okay, and then another 3 more years from 2008 to 2011, then you as a candidate, okay, and participate in this Nadine Dun election again, but still lost.
Yes.
Okay, for 10 years you never won. I mean, even though once election, okay, but you never shift to other party. You're still standing, I mean, firm in PKR. So what give you support? I mean, at that moment, if I'm not mistaken, the SAI, I mean, Anwar Ibrahim still in jail.
Second time.
Yes, he's still in jail. So what give you so strong support that you believe, I mean, what is your belief you're holding on to still keep firmly stay in PKR? I mean, fight for
because
this.
Our country was going downhill.
Yes.
You know, I never imagined to be this bad. The country getting more and more corrupted, and the country people are getting desperate because we were supposed to be as good as Singapore or Korea, but over the years, you can have people getting poorer and poorer. You know, and all the government policy is quite obviously wrong, you know. So then you realize that there is nobody who can help us. The only person who can help you is put in jail. So you feel that you have to fight, you know, to get him out of jail and run the government properly. So recently we won the election. We thought that he's going to take over and straighten the political path to the correct one. But unfortunately, our government collapsed. So I still believe today that Anwar will become the Xi Jinping of Malaysia. He will be the one who put it straight. So our logo is still Reformacy. We have to change to the correct way, direction, you know, and Anwar has the formula. I believe that.
I'm sorry, I wish to ask YB, do you ever think actually to make the country in the right way, in the right path, maybe do you ever think that Parti Keadilan were not the only choice? Maybe do you ever think about other parties or join like maybe as an independent candidate, then can side with others like other teams like GPS or
but
other parties?
You need
Mm-hmm.
a good leader with a track record to lead the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the way Anwar is doing is that even put in jail, even beaten, he's still there. So he's committed. If he joins the government or he runs away, then I think that he's not qualified, you know. But even though you find him and try to make him, you know, raid his house or attack him or say bad things about him, he's still there. And so we just look at how he behaves. If he is good, he doesn't run away, we also aren't going to run away. We will just follow because I still think that he is the best leader we are going to have. Maybe so very soon. He will go. That's why I'm so happy that Anwar might be able to become PM and lead the way. It's like a ship that is sailing without the radar. So I know that Anwar will set it straight and then we can reach. Otherwise, you cannot reach. We want to be an Asian tiger. We want the people to be having better income. We want to have minimum corruption. So Anwar is able to do that, to lead the country forward. So that's why we are very happy and solid behind.
Can I say that the SAI, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim was your great role model, maybe? Exactly. So do you ever, I mean, the SAI been putting inside the jail for three times. And until today, do you ever, even though a single second, lost your faith on him? Never.
No. Always solid behind. My emotion.
Even though a little bit doubt, maybe for among also a lot of cases.
No. Over the last 21 years, we have suffered a lot of loss in the election,
and a lot
leader
of
put in
judge
jail,
put on him,
and a lot of things are done to him. But we always know that he is actually the best leader of what we have now to lead our country, you know, to go forward. So actually, I always thought Keadilan is like a religion to people like me. We believe in it very strongly. So we are going to succeed.
Okay.
We are going to succeed.
Do you still remember actually, YB, at year 2013, actually, your fourth time as a candidate, okay, as PKR candidate, and then go in this national election, then is your first time you won the national election, you beat your opponent. Okay, at that time, and then at 2018, the second time you won this MP seat at this national election. Do you still remember what was your feeling at that moment? I mean, after 10 years, okay, as 3 times of candidate, but you lost. Okay, finally at the 4th time as a candidate, then you won. Do you before the result come out at that time, 2013, the national election, okay, 第13届全国大选, before you get the result, you won. Okay, do you expected that before this?
No. I've been beaten 3 times.
Yes.
One time I was told that you don't fight the don't sit because you're going to lose. So over the years, there are a lot of discouraging news and feedback. So I was not that confident, but I decided that it's a long battle. We have to go through it. So went in, but surprisingly, our support is so good. I didn't realize that because I've been beaten so many times before, so I didn't have all that confidence. But I'm thinking back, there are a lot of people who actually take our message. They come and support us, they give us fun, they come and work hard. So I can see that message can go through.
YB, can please tell us, tell our audience, tell me more about that time when you start to campaign, because I do believe at that time, especially when the first campaign is for this election campaign I'm talking about, year 2001, 20 years ago. Okay, at that moment, PKR, and even though you yourself, YB, you as oppositions candidates, you not really hold a lot of funding, you don't have a lot of support. So how are you going to run all these campaigns?
That's why when I joined this party, our party was very poor, and I was the only one with some income.
Okay.
So every time when we have a funding problem, they will refer back to me. So I have to use my clinic income to support the party from the beginning until the end. You know, all the time we support people going for meeting, people this and that. So I really feel that if somebody can contribute to the party, I can see nobody else.
Oh, okay.
So I try to support the party with my income from
personal income.
Yeah, personal income to support the party and so on.
To running all those election campaign.
Yeah. Because our party started in Kuching, headquarters in Kuching, we need to pay rental, we need to employ people. And then when our party gets bigger and bigger, we need to attend meetings, congress, and then we need people to move to KL, and you need people to buy ticket, hotel, and so on. So although the support from others is there, I still feel I'm responsible to help over the years to help the party, so that our mission can complete. So without much money, but if you are conviction is good, you can pull through.
I ever heard about this, sorry YB, if my rough word wrong or whatever, please forgive me. I ever heard about this. Some people told me this about. They said at year 2013, before you been selected as a candidate, okay, to elect in this 13th national election before you won, okay, they still select you as a candidate because at that moment itself they don't have any other people to choose. Is it real at 2013 at that moment?
It is not easy to choose candidate. You know, the candidate should be able to work and to fund his own campaign. So if you are not able, then it's not easy to win the election, because you need expenditure, you need to buy the banner, poster, you need to employ people. The election is quite costly.
Yes.
Because the way they do it purposely is to make it costly, so that the opposition cannot win without money. So it's been going on until today. You know, the process is make it difficult for the opposition to win without money. So unlike other countries, you can make the election cheaper and easier. But our country they know that the opposition has not much money, so they make it very complicated. You have to put deposit, then you have to pay money to the council to put up your banner and to remove your banner. Then you have to have, if you want to have chairman, then you have to get the permit, the license, then you have to employ people and so on. So it's basically to make it difficult for the opposition to win.
So from year 2013 and until 2018 until today, YB, normally who the person who arrange and who organize all this campaign, ceramah and everything, you yourself, or you do have a very good team and people who help you?
The team in KL and in Kuching are very professional.
Oh, okay.
So once you have a candidate, they come and help you. With all sorts of things, you know, so that the job of the candidate is much easier.
Okay.
So there will be some funding also, people coming, and I'm surprised people come from UK, to come from KL, from Kelantan, Penang, they come and then try to do
is
a lot.
Is it the funding that you talk about just now? You told us, YB. Is it good enough to cover the whole campaign? I mean, expenses, or no? You still need to come up from your own pockets.
For me, you need some from your own pocket. But fortunately,
how some is that some figure?
You have to spend. You have to spend first, and maybe half, So during the campaign, the party will give some fund. Then you have to come with some other fund. Otherwise, you cannot, because you have to work towards the election. Maybe 1 year before the election, you cannot say last minute you do campaign. You have to start doing your work. Donation or visit people or employ people 1 year or two, before the election. So that part you have to spend. And if your leader is in jail, then how are you going to get some money from him? Yes. So you have to be able to support yourself. And then during the election, then they might come and help you with a little bit. Sometimes it's not enough. But then you get a lot of support from the public. That is the good thing about the people. They are involved. So they come and give you support. They say, I want to be your bacha, to count your vote. I want to be. Then you realize that there are people who are really committed. Because they can feel it. They are the people who are poor. They don't get a good health service. The government spend a lot of money, but they are the people who might not get a good health service. They are the people who are being bullied by the government, or the government never bother about them. So they have their own reason why they want to change the government. Everyone has their own reason. And most of the time, I think they complain about corruption, they complain about maybe police not taking action, or they complain about being discriminated against if they are racially discriminated. So during the election, they'll come out. And because our message is we want to have racial harmony, we don't want to have people criticizing each other by race. That's our party. We don't want to have racial issue in the party. That's why our party is multiracial. So a lot of people look at us as somebody who is more balanced. We are not a racial party. Everybody can enter our party. Christian, Muslim also can. Buddhist also can. So that part of it is very appealing to the public that like us, because we have this thing set.
This is why the reason of the party names People's Justice Party?
Yeah.
Is it that's the meaning of the justice?
Justice is very important, because in every case there is no justice. If people scold you because of your race, you find that there's no justice. If people fine you $10,000, you think that there's no justice, because maybe you forgot to sign the thing, and then you fine you 10,000. Or if your anak go to school and they don't allow you to go to university, your child is brilliant, best result, and yet you cannot get a scholarship. And you want to enter certain university, they say no, because you are a certain race. So everybody feel that there's injustice along the way. And so we want justice. We want to get the justice into everybody's life. Whether you are a student, you are a hawker, you are a businessman, you are Chinese, Malay, Indian, everybody suffer from some kind of injustice. So when we open the party, the justice, we emphasize justice. Justice means to be fair. So if they put Anwar in jail, that is not justice. Because for no reason, and without evidence, they just put him in jail. Not once, 2 times, 3 times, So that is not justice, and we want to fight against that. And people nowadays, they accept that we really need justice to improve. Otherwise, there is fighting among races, among religions, among the poor.
As 2 batches, holding for all these 7 years, and then as 2 batches of our MP of Miri, our YB. Okay, so what do you think YB? In our Miri city here, okay, you think any the infrastructure or what, and anything that we need more improve in Miri City? As you experience, you hold these 2 batches of this MP Miri for 7 years, more than 2 batches, right? Yes, more than 7 years.
A lot of things I have solved, like using my fund 3.5 million to solve. That one I can solve with money. Like school need furniture, school need repainting, school need computer, hospital need aircon.
3.5 million.
Yeah, I allocation I spend. So if the school need food coupon, I use the money. So that part I did a lot. I got 50 projects, from making a lab, making drains, giving food coupon to all the schools, giving school bags. That one I use my fund. So that part I'm quite happy that I can do something about. But when I look at Miri being sort of a resort city, trying to attract tourists, that part they have failed very badly. And so I feel very sad about it. For example, Miri erosion, you know, people come and pump out all the sand. Now we have erosion. The beaches have all disappeared in Miri, from Kuala Baram to Lotong to Cebu. We used to have big beaches, all the tourists come jogging. Nowadays, there's no more. The beaches have all gone because of the sand taking out, extraction in the beach. So now Miri cannot say you have beaches, there's no more beach. If you go and look around, there's no more beach. All the beach have disappeared. And then the few beach we have, that is the iconic beach, is Tanjung Lobang. The government has sold it to private. So now you cannot go there and say, I want to have a picnic in Tanjung Lobang beach, because there is no beach. It is a private place. And then there are so many other things, like, for example, there is a big, iconic, beautiful seahorse in Cebu. Destroyed because the government doesn't know how to look after it. The tourists come to look at the blue tears phenomenon. People from West Malaysia, few hundred of them came to look at blue tears, look at the seahorse. They send the lorry up the seahorse and destroy the seahorse, and now there's no more seahorse. So a lot of things they destroy, and they do not know how to preserve the good thing for the tourism. So our tourism is not going to succeed because good things have been sold, destroyed. So that is something I feel very sad about. I have been talking about this loss of beach for many years, but you know, even the public can't say it. What can I say? You know, the government just allows sand to be taken out all the beach, and now you can see they spend millions to buy the stone from Kuala Baram up to Miri to block the water from coming in. This is because you take the sand out of the beach. Now the sea is coming in. Now the government has to spend 20 million to build a wall of stone to prevent the sea from coming in, because the fishermen cannot park their fishing vessel in Kuala Baram. The fishing vessel is moving up and down because of the wave. So before there was a beach to protect them. Now there's no beach, the wave is coming in. So the government has to approve a 20 million project to build a stone wall. So behind the wall, the fishing vessel will park there. So there's a lot of damage and expenditure unnecessarily.
And actually, YB, I realized that, I mean, among all these, these years, I mean, more than maybe 5 to 10 years, a lot of this housing and residential issue, I mean, people voice up in this, our Miri city. So, can you please tell us more about this, like housing and residential issue, YB? I see that Miri people actually we do have a lot of new houses building up actually.
There are a lot of squatters also. Miri has the maximum number of squatters in the whole Sarawak. There are 4,000 families in Miri alone. So if you go to some of these villages, Kampong Pasir, along the river, you can see these people living there, and you'll be feel sad. No electricity, no water supply. At night on the generator, this is very bad condition they're staying in. If you go and visit them, you really feel sad because they have been applying for land, not approved. Electricity, not approved. Water, share a bit. Government don't give them housing.
Sorry, YB, I wish to interrupt for a second. When YB talk about they try to apply all those facility like house and electricity, but not been approved. But before we go further in, I wish to ask: is it all of them local? I mean, citizens or?
Majority
they are citizens.
Citizens who
like us,
who move from
from
the rural areas. They don't have a farm in rural areas because the application for native land is not approved. So they don't have the land. So now in the longhouse there's no job. So a lot of them will move down to look for jobs. And if they are a young couple, they move down. Where is the money to buy a house? So they don't even get a job. So they become squatters, and then they just go to the jungle somewhere and build a hut there and stay there quietly, because that one is illegal. Government can actually come and catch them. So they're hiding inside the jungle somewhere near the beach. And then, of course, they need water, electricity to survive. But the most important thing is that why they have to come from rural area to come to Miri when you cannot get a job? Because there is no income in the rural areas. They don't have the land. Those with the land, they do the farming, they stay there. But government never encourage them to stay in the rural areas by not giving them the land. So they will come to Miri, look for jobs, and some of them find job offshore, this and that. And then those people who live in these squatter areas, they are very unhappy. Condition is bad. So they will move to work in Singapore. So in Singapore, we have 60,000 Sarawakian, particularly women, living 60,000 of the Iban. Majority are Iban. They are working in Singapore. Singapore has 400,000 Malaysians working there. 60,000 of these are from Sarawak, the Iban women. So what they do is that they have no job here. They will go to work in Johor, live in Johor. They every morning go to Singapore to look for a job, usually cleaner, office cleaner. And the van will pick them up from they stay, some of them in this container. So the van will come and pick them in the morning, 6 of them in the van, and then they will bring them across the crossway, go to Singapore and go and clean the office. Evening, 4 o'clock, they will finish the work, the van will bring them back and stay in Johor. But because they are workers, they live in the container. So that's how our women move from Sarawak to end up in Singapore, because there's no job here and no land to farm. So those who don't want to go to Singapore, they become squatter. I can bring you Havelo, so many kampong. There are lots of them. There was 2,000 in Canada Hill, but they're driven away. And they settle in squatter areas in Tudan. So there are so many of them now living in total darkness. At night, you use generator, 7 o'clock until 11 on the generator. So the children will study with the generator.
What is the any suggestions from YB? How to solve this problem? Definitely, it's not gonna settle in a day. Okay, these squatters' problems. So, but is it YB? Do you have any suggestions? What we can do?
That's why I always say that the government, if they want to do, they can do. If they don't want to do, they will not do. It's up to the government. Sarawak is full of land. We have 30 million acres of land. 30 million acres of land in Sarawak area. And we have only 40,000 squatters. 4,000 squatter families in Miri. there is huge pieces of land in the rural areas which are either state land or sold to company. But no land is given to these people.
But sorry, YB. Sorry, I mean on my own opinion, okay, my very own opinion, we're not gonna give them for free, right?
No, you see, in Singapore, when you remember when they are independent, the Singapore government built the flat using government land.
Okay.
And every day they build so many flats and sell it
low
cost price.
Yeah.
I still remember 18,000.
Yes, a very
18,000 per flat, which is 80,000 ringgit, because
yeah.
1 ringgit was 1 Singapore dollar cent. So they were able to build thousands of these for the Singapore people. They apply, they get 18,000. We try to do the same thing in Taman Tengku.
Okay.
30 years ago, we built Taman Tengku. And
30 years ago?
Yes, we were building Taman Tengku and we sell 40,000. That's quite good, you know. But after that, stop. So we settle a few thousand people in Taman Tengku at low cost. They can afford. After that, there's no more low cost. The newcomers, the new people coming in, there's no low cost. And we have a lot of land still, you know, in the rural area, I mean nearby only. But this land is vacant, government state land. They don't want to do anything about it. And the local people, by right, should have another project. I always say we should have Taman Anwar to do the project and sell them 40,000 or maybe now 60,000, which you can build, because 60,000 is not enough. So government will sponsor maybe another 60,000 to build this flat using the government land, which you have so much empty, and then give them water, electricity, and sell it to them cheap. It's not
in a very affordable
yes,
for them.
And they can get a loan.
Okay.
And at 30 years loan, 1 month they pay 300. They can afford. So now you got water, electricity, and government subsidy to help you, so you don't have to suffer like this. You know, you can even get a loan if you are one of the husband or wife is working, and that's how Singapore helped the people. Taman Tengku, we had the same project, helped so many people. After that, you don't have any more for 30 years. So these people are just hanging there waiting for government. Government don't want to help them. No, so you need somebody who is willing to come out and help. The Sarawak government said they got 31 billion in the bank. So much money, very happy. But you don't want to use a little bit, 200 million to solve this problem in Miri, the biggest, second biggest city in Sarawak. You know, you can say you want to do a lot of things for Sarawak people. Bantuan here, bantuan here, bantuan. But the people who need are those people. They need the house.
The 4,000 of
you must help them. Don't talk about other things. Talk about the most important thing. Those people, they are screaming there for a house. No, nobody want to help them. So that's why I said a responsible government must behave responsibly. I didn't give you land in the rural areas, native land. At least I help you when you are a squatter. That should be your, after all, your government has so much money. You say that your state has petroleum 2 billion paid to you. This 2 billion you spend 10%, 200 million, you can solve the whole problem. You have a lot of land there. So you have this Taman Anwar, maybe 2,000. Now we build it and we give it to you and we help you. We subsidize, yes, but not too much. We don't sell the land to private and then the private sell you the house 250,000. We are not helping you like that, because the private company will make money out of you, which you cannot afford. So we should help you directly. We give the land to you for that purpose. Now the government said that you buy from that private company, but company says it's 250,000, and you are making money out of them, and they cannot afford, so it doesn't help. That's why they are still there, 30 years. They're still there.
Some of them even live, the squatters family live there for more than 30 years. Means that is over generations.
Yeah, they're there. Nobody knows them because they're illegal. The moment government knows, the government has the right to bulldoze them. So they are very scared.
Okay.
You see, they are considered as illegal. And illegal, government can bulldoze your house down. That's what the government does sometimes. There was one time, 3 long houses going to be bulldozed. One of them, Rumah Jupiter. So I said, your government is bulldozing people's house who have lived there for 20, 30 years because you sell the land to some company. You see, the people who originally are there now don't own the house, don't own the land. And the company own the land and your long house. So I have the legal document to bulldoze your long house, to take away your farm. So that is what happened to Rumah Jupiter. And I went to protest in the district office with YB from Pautek. 2 of us were arrested, for helping them.
Besides this, this issue else, what else do you think, in our Miri city, maybe we need to look into it, which is really, in critical level, besides this squatters issues?
I think the council collect a lot of money from the Miri people, but
taxes, you mean, maybe?
Every shop house has to pay $2,000 every 6 months, and so on and so on. And the money they collect, they did not spend. They did not keep in the council. There is one thing I always protest. The 15,000 car park in Miri, the money is collected collected by the council. 2 million a month. Now this 2 million is given to a private company. Now the council says, I don't have the money. So that is something very bad. This car park money should be given to the council so that they can make the better drain and roads and so on. So that money is not kept by council. It's kept by a few people in Kuching through this privatization. So now the council say, we don't have the money. It's $2 million per month over the last 7 years. That money has disappeared. So now you say that we want you to make the drain, then we have no money. That is something which is not right. That money for car parking must give to the council, because the car park is made by the council. Why for the money is given to somebody else? One car park is for $5 a day. 15,000 car park per day. 22 days a month. So that is $2 million a month. 1 year is 24 million. 7 years is 180 million. So that money is not kept in the council. That is something wrong, And when the council want to build a new office, they don't want to use the government land. They go and buy the land for others, So the council is actually spending the money wrongly, because the government has the land. Get the land from the government, build your office if you need, so you don't have to spend so much money. And besides, why do you want to keep on spending council money to build a new office when you have a big office already?
As as ordinary people like me, what we can do, in this moment, we realize, from what you told us just now before. So when we realize of a lot of all these problems, we gonna face, we have to solve. What any advice that you give to these million ordinary people like me and like the others in front of the cameras? What else we can do? What should we do?
I think if there's something wrong, you should not be scared to put your voice out and say that we think that this is wrong. We think this is this sort of thing. You all must be brave to speak. For us, we are politicians. Maybe we have the support to speak But the public still cannot just keep quiet, and allow this thing to happen. The government is selected by the public, so you must use your vote, you must use your voice, you must use the media to point out this is right, this is wrong, this is wrong. You can say, because you are a citizen, you have the right. So you must be brave enough, because like our leader Anwar Ibrahim, he is put in jail, he's beaten, he still want to say it. So we give you the same courage. If you think something is wrong, please use the media, say it out, support the cause, whatever it is you think is not right. That's being a responsible citizen. Otherwise, you just suffer in silence, and So together, you have a voice. Then they will change, or at least they will explain why they are doing it like this. But to me, there are certain things that are wrong.
I totally agree what you said, YB. I mean, just now what you said about to raise up our voice, this do really touch me. I mean, really deep in my heart, because right now, all this while what I'm doing, the live interview, my main goal, my main subjective is to raise up our people voice. I'm not really selective or subjective to whatever level, whatever people. So everybody welcome to speak on this free platform, MyyTalk. So what you said just now, YB, really, touched me, okay, in my heart. All right, and then since thank you, YB. Since YB today are here, okay, I wish to take this opportunity ask about some professional advice about these vaccines, because yes, YB doctor, see YB doctor, there was a doctor sitting in front of me, so we don't lost this opportunity. Okay, we ask a professional advice as a doctor, YB. What you thinking? Your point of view about this vaccine? Is it everybody should take? We must accept this in our very open heart. Everybody, any age, any level, must accept, must register, take this vaccine. Or you have any others opinion, any others of view, please.
So this COVID thing suddenly hit the world.
Yes.
A year ago, and everybody actually was shocked, because we didn't expect it,
Yeah.
And the richest country get the worst. The European countries, Britain, European country get the worst, and the poorer countries in Africa and Vietnam and so on are less affected. And that is the question everybody is wondering why. If you say that 30 countries, poor countries, they should get the most of this sickness, but the other way around, the richest country in the world get it worse. So that is something that came as a shock. But later on, the other shock is that so many people are dying left and right, and then we seem to have no medicine to cure. Everybody is trying to use different medicine, and then the world is in panic, because it's spreading from one country to the next, and then we are actually never are so fearful until now for 100 years, and nobody ever come across this kind of epidemic before. So suddenly it hit us, and then we are helpless because we have no medicine. People are dying. In US, 4,000 people at one time were dying. In UK, more than 1,000. Every day they are dying. And now we realize that it's a virus. So straight away I realized that the only cure is the vaccine. I straight away knew that it must be a vaccine. But I know that vaccine take a long time to produce. So how are we going to solve this problem when it's hitting everybody? And until now, almost 3 million people died until today. So I knew that it's the vaccine. So now everybody is making vaccines, and we don't know which vaccine is good, which vaccine is bad. But then I think that over the time, give a few months, then you know which vaccine is good, which vaccine has more side effects, which vaccine is more effective. And the news, the data coming out is that those vaccines are almost all equally good. They protect you from getting death, They protect you almost 100% from getting serious illness. And some vaccines have slightly more allergic reaction than others. But on the whole, they are about the same, whether it's from China or from Pfizer from US and Japan. So now the data is very clear that the vaccines are almost equally good. So the problem is there is shortage of vaccine.
So you means, YB, at your point of view that you was totally agree and encourage people to take the vaccine if we do have vaccines?
The vaccine protects you from death almost 100%, from serious illness 100%. So if you have the opportunity to get the vaccine, obviously you must grab it as soon as you can, because the longer you delay, the more risk you are suffering. And for myself, the moment I have a chance, I go for vaccine. So I advise everybody, the moment you have a chance, you must quickly get it, because they are all about the same as far as the side effects is concerned. They have been given now 400 million doses all over the world, China vaccine, obviously, and not much side effects. Pfizer also given hundreds of millions, almost hardly any side effects. So I would say that the chance getting side effect is very, very, very low. So the moment you have a chance, go get the vaccine and get protected, because your protection only comes 2 weeks after your injection, or 3 weeks after injection of the first dose. So the sooner you get, the better you are.
So, this is, and please allow me to repeat one more time what YB said just now. Our audience, the people in front of the camera, please remember, if you do have the chance, please go and register, all right? Get the vaccine as soon as possible. But this as soon as possible, the term of this as soon as possible is not controlled by us, right? Like me, myself, I do register at the very first day of once the government opened for registrations, okay? I did register, but until today, I'm keep waiting for the appointment, the call for appointment, but not yet.
my complaint now is our Malaysian vaccine is too slow, because they say that they'll wait until even until next year. But I know that in US, they can inject 1.5 million per day.
Oh, okay.
And in UK, it's 700,000 per day. So it can be quickly given out. But somehow we have problem with, we have the money, 5 billion allocated, but somehow the vaccine we ordered didn't come. So everybody is waiting. US, by July, they say that the thing is over. Airline open, school open by July, US. The result is good. The moment you are vaccinated, the number of cases drop very drastically. So there is no fear that it is not working. It is working. But our Malaysian is very slow in this acquiring to get the vaccine. Now Selangor government and Sarawak government want to buy the vaccine, bypass federal.
Oh.
No, because federal say that they control the whole vaccine, but then Sarawak is complaining, you're too slow. We only have 2 million people in Sarawak who need vaccine. The 1 million is children. They don't need the vaccine. They are not eligible. So 2 million people, each 2 doses is 4 million. But China has given 400 million doses around the world. So it's not difficult to buy, just 4 million doses. And then if you got 4 million doses, I think in 1 week, you can be given. Like in US, dentists are giving it, doctors are giving it, veterinary doctors are giving it, animal doctors are giving the vaccine. So with the help of the private doctors, it's very fast. They inject it on the roadside and that's it. But private hospitals and clinics are willing to help, but we cannot get the vaccine. So that is the problem, because if you keep on waiting until next year, there might be variant virus coming in. and then the vaccine might not work. So that is the problem.
Thank you very much, YB. Time flies. Okay. Before we roll up this today live interview, YB, do you have any that special suggest or opinion that any that any words that you want to send to our Miriam? Any message? Anything else you want to add on?
Our political situation is actually at a crossroad. We are neither here nor there, but I say that our future will be very bright now that if the government have an election or the government suddenly change, then we will realize our dream. Now, after so many years of fighting and changing, we can do it, and we will be able to do it quite soon.
So can I take this opportunity, since YB you are talking about this opportunity, our future was bright, okay? I would like to ask YB, is it any hints that can, hints us when will be the coming national election? Do you have any hints?
They say that after the situation is under control, COVID under control by August, then we have an election.
A national election or state election?
Will
it be both together?
State election must be held because the time is up. By June, July, must have state election. So that's 100%. If there is a general election, it might be together. Maybe it's good because it's safe cost.
Okay.
But when this election happen, I think that the result will be good from my point of view, and then we are on the new path. Our country is moving to a new path.
So you have a very strong faith and belief that you're gonna form. We have a chance to form the second time of Pakatan Harapan government.
I'm very hopeful. I can see the light at the tunnel, end of the tunnel.
Before I roll up today's interview, YB, I still have very last question. Okay, it's up to you, YB, whether you want to answer it or you want to roll up the whole live section. Okay, if you choose to roll up, just roll it up. Okay, my partner will answer up the live interview. I want to ask, my question is, YB, coming up the coming election, will you still be in candidate in these national and state elections?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, YB. Thanks for your time. Thank you very much to, accept our invitation and come into our live interview and allow us to have this opportunity to listen to your voice. Thank you very much. 谢谢大家谢谢我们的观众今晚。对不起，我的英语的 level 就只有这样高如果讲到不好，请原谅我或者是如果你们真的很不满意我讲的英语，改天 sponsor 我去读书。OK， 我再继续深造，我不介意的。好，谢谢大家，晚安。
Very good. Thank you. I'm very happy.
大部分的人都生活在越来越把自己困在自己的死胡同，生活在自己的一片自己的空间，很少有那一个交流。MyyTalk 这一个时事清谈节目呢，我们希望能有来自于不同年龄、不同种族、不同阶层，甚至不同领域，不管你有钱没有钱，不管你会讲话不会讲话，我们都希望借着这一个相对于公开、自由、百花齐放的平台，来让你有机会去把你的要讲的话去说给大家听。MyyTalk 美里时事无所不是，每个星期三晚上8点约定你哦。